So what's Goose's story this month? I hate to tell you, but I don't think there's a woman's back around that really is great for dressage. It is. It's not our back, it's our pelvic area. We're built like pears with more weight in the back. Our hip joints are not set on high and forward like men's pelvic area. So it's stretching the back and bringing the legs close, which is the hard part. But the men have the reverse problem. They get front groin injuries trying to get their legs back, while we can flex our legs back quite easily. So, okay, a new place. Hmm. Yeah, a new place. We, I think at every level of performance, when you go up a level of engagement and when you start really working trying to sustain a cadence and the horse over the bit in the lateral work, you find a deeper position. I think that's just a learning curve that happens a lot. Hmm. Yeah. Well, when you're on your own, you always have the option of getting off, cantering him on the lunge line, and getting back on, because you cannot train a horse without dealing with all three gaits. You can't train a horse successfully. So if the canter makes you nervous, once you get a nice trot, you can always get off, canter him on the lunge line, and then ride him again. Can you put his head? ca- ca- Yeah, but you should at least put his head down before giving him a treat. I would make that compromise. Yeah, yeah, take your time. He has his own he has his own character. So yeah, that's when you work your shoulder ins quietly until he warms up and he comes under the hand. That's that. I'm full agreement with that. Forward is forward is highly overrated. Yeah, I don't particularly think, well, the good ones don't have to pull them back, but it's like the French philosophy is about balance, but you have to at least balance the horse between your seat and your hand. So your seat bones have to lift, so his head goes down more frequently. And then you think, cease to act with the hands and ask him to move away from the leg. Try to divide up your hand and leg action. And Before you quit on your hands, you lift your seat. Before you push on your leg, you relax your back so you can lift again. Part of it is learning to put your seat in between your hand and leg aids mentally. There you go. Now he's accepting ideas. That's good. Yeah. Well, you can't, if you haven't walked him around outside, you can't blame him. Well, yes and no. Like I said, if he does that, at least put his head vertical and round him up before you give him the treat. That's what I don't like. It's not the treat. It's the fact that he puts his head up like, yeah, and look at him right now. You're trying to go sideways, but his head's not vertical. So it delays everything. So I think that's a game. If he stops on the bit and you want to give him a treat, I'm fine. But if he pulls his head up over the vertical, at least put his head back down before you give him the treat. Otherwise, you're rewarding him for the drop out of gear, take the head away, and then the discipline goes. And that's what I object to. Perfect. And and then it becomes correct. Otherwise, he learns that breaking frame means I get a treat. Yeah, I don't like being blackmailed. Well, but you see, it's a blackmail to stop the focus of the rider on the sequence. If you have to stop and give him a treat every 5 minutes, how are you ever going to get to counter canter and flying changes? It's just a little head game. You know, I think that to me is blackmail. Anytime any other creature gets into your brain and trains you away from your focus, it's a bit of a blackmail, but male creatures do that all the time. My dog, when he wants to be forgiven or he wants attention, starts doing something cute. It's no different. Oh, yeah. We get, sometimes I let it happen, and sometimes I'm like, I told you to be obedient. So I'm not doing cute right now. But, there are companions. You don't want to be like the Gestapo to your companions. Yeah, that was a good compromise. Yeah. Well, the next time when he does something good, you stop him and you give him a treat. But yeah, then you reward him on your, yeah, very good. That makes sense to me. You see? See, now you're just bribing him. That works. I'd rather bribe good behavior than be blackmailed into accepting bad behavior. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm now see, I would have put his head down before letting him go forward. Why can't he go forward from the halt with his head vertical? That's what I'm there, and it's still not vertical. Still not there. Very good. Because without that, the canter will not be safe to ride. It won't be comfortable. And now shoulder in. Bend him with your left leg and really think about getting the feel of his left hind. What I'm pleased in seeing is that you've got his inside hind much more underneath your seat bone. That's brilliant. That's much better. Yeah, yeah. Now make sure you don't tip your chest forward when you go sideways. Make sure you don't lean over his wither with your chest. Now that you've got your seat bones in, try not to tip forward. Doesn't have to be leaning back, but just be aware. That's it. And then his head down. His head down. Good. There. Now he's using his back. Can you feel the difference? Yeah. That's what he needs to be able to trot slowly and canter slowly. There's no mystery. You can't force it. Head down, but put his head down. Before you pressure him to walk, put the head down. Insist quietly and yeah, good. I think he's figured out that there's a voice in your ear. I think that's a disgusted horse snort. Oh, that was a good trot. Keep the left hind a little closer to you. Lean back a little more on the left hind. Yes. Just watch your chest. Don't lean over his wither. Keep your back nice and straight. 3 is the magic number. Can you engage the left hind a little more? Could you half halt and push the left hind a little more before you go sideways? That looks good. Yeah, that's a lot of progress. Well done. Yes, very good. Now, here's where I would give him a treat because it was good. You don't like when he starts rushing? No. Hmm. That's when that's when I would circle and immediately do walk shoulder in from the circle. Yeah, just switch gears. In fact, it's a good exercise to do a figure of 8, and then every time that you come to the rail, you end up walking, doing a walk transition, shoulder in, and then you trot across the ring in your figure of 8. Yeah, and in the walk half circle, you actually do a bit of shoulder in to the inside of the circle. Yeah, That's a very, very good kind of it helps build carrying power without saying to the horse, you have to do it all the time. So much to think about. So much to think about. I know. Imagine if we rode caterpillars, we'd be in big trouble. Now his head's up in the air, so deal with that first. Okay. And think about the walk being a little more active on your inside leg and don't tip your chest at his wither. Yeah, like that. And then may ask him to be more flexible. Nice. There he's mouthing the bit. That's when you would bend him and you trot. And now start bending him left. Good. Come to your walk and think a little left shoulder in inside the circle line. Don't tip at his wither with your chest. Good. Keep your left shoulder down a little bit more. Relax it down. Very good. Now push him a little bit with your left leg. Now trot and cross over on the figure of 8 at the trot. Keep the head down. He could trot a little bit better if your right leg said trot. There you go. Back to the walk. Right shoulder in as you turn into the bend. Right shoulder in. Push him over a little bit more. Good, good. And trot and trotting one more time across the ring. Soft left rein if you can. Very nice. Now trot. Push your back forward. And now left leg bends. Push him over. Very good there. And into the walk. You're already in shoulder in. Feel it? Nice. Well, there you go. Now stop. Put his head down at the hold. And now give it, yeah, give him the treat. And that's see, it's a very nice one because it's interval trains the lift, the bending, and the transitions. Yeah, exactly. So it makes you feel more secure, and it also makes the horse wonder when we're going to do things. Theoret- yeah, theoretically, when you feel that nice bend, that like you did that last go where he started offering the shoulder in as he came into the bend, instead of walking, you would ask a half circle canter and then back down, trot, shoulder in, canter. That's the reason it prepares the canter. But just establish that routine so that he learns that shoulder in means slow down. Then you would strike off with the canter and he would be like, oh, we're cantering, we're not rushing off. Sorry, say it again. Say it again. Well, yeah, I not only say it, I think it because I refuse. Mhm. Well, part of it is, like I said earlier, you can always get off the horse, make him canter on the lunge line, get back on and do another round of this exercise until the horse recognizes that the canter is just going to fit in to the other two gaits. And, then you get over the blackmailing of if you canter, because it's a bit blackmail. If you canter, I'll run off with you. So that's all part of it. Yeah. And the shoulder in isn't very convincing on the left side. So why don't you just start? That's telling you stay left. Wait, get out of the exercise. If he's had a break, go and work your left shoulder in at the walk till it's good, and then pick up the extra. Okay? Yeah, and there's also, yeah, yeah, that's very good. And now you're ready to go back to the exercise. A lot of it is just prepare. Let the horse think, prepare. Now, why is he losing the bend when you do your half circle? There you go. So that's obviously, well, it's also the biomechanics of the horse. He gets a little flat and lateral on the left side. And guess what? When they run off at the canter, it's because they're flat and lateral, right? So if you improve this, yeah, and that's not much of a trot behind. That's still not much of a trot. So why don't you show me a whole why don't you show me a whole circle or figure of eight of trot with the horse actually trotting with his back end, and then come back to this exercise. Well, at some point, you have to be a bit of a stronger rider in your back, and that's when you have to say, use your new seat bone position and say, here's the trot I want. But you have to be strong enough in your back and character to say, this is what I want. That's it. Now, why is his head going at a funny angle? And that's not a trot. That's a Western jog. Well, look at your right leg. Tell it to come in and lift the horse. There. If he's flat like that and behind your leg at the trot, the canter is going to be terrible. There, that's a good one. It doesn't have to be more than that. But when you sit the trot, you have to push your back in small ways. In other words, trot with your back. Trot, trot, trot. Now try and sit the trot, pushing gently with your back. Push your chest back and your seat bones forward. Good. That's a good one. See, you're not going any faster, but there he's actually trotting because you're trotting. You feel it? And now we go back to the exercise, adding the walk shoulder in. So it's all related. When he flattens into your inside leg because you let it go and you stop pushing, the horse flattens and drops out of gear behind. So can you say that he's tired because yeah, he gets tired in the carrying because he's not bent enough ahead of your leg and seat bone so that his back is comfortable. And now don't tip your chest forward. Good. And now walk and keep the bending with your right leg. Walking. So you're forgetting the walk now. Woo. So you have to add the walk shoulder in now. Good there. So here we're going to bend and walk shoulder in on the bending line, the half circle. Walk. Yep, I'm here. Walk. Yep, I'm here. Okay. I'm here. Are you hearing me? Hello, hello? I hear something now. No, no, it was a good call, but you were doing very well. I was telling you to just add the shoulder in at the walk again because the trot was so nice. So that was really good. What I was saying is that what a difference in the trot when you move your back with the horse, he knows to keep trotting behind and then he doesn't flatten out in your leg. So that trot was really good. Good job, you too. We need to go and add the shoulder in at the walk on the bed, the half circle with and make that nice trot on the diagonal part. Okay. So the objective is to get him really bent on your inside leg and the shoulder in, and then really moving his back with your back in the trot. That's your mission. Yeah. Ask a little bit more right hind. Good.